161 credits, and which includes the credit courses and the non-credit courses. The credit courses, those are from this BSc, ECC, PCC, HSMC, PEC, OEC, project and internship categories. And non-credit courses, these are audit courses, life skill courses, proficiency courses, MOOC courses. These are non-credit courses. So the curriculum is well balanced, considering the overall development of our students, considering that it is well balanced with the number of credit courses and the non-credit courses. And among this, just one thing I would like to highlight, this PCC, professional core courses. It carries the maximum number of credits. Among these 161 credits, maximum number of credits, that is 48 credits with around 18 courses. It comes under category professional core courses. And those credits you have to earn in second, third, and final year. So definitely PCC, these are very important courses along with the other courses as well. I'll just quickly explain you about the what are the features, what kind of features were kept in mind while preparing these course curriculum. So our curriculum, which you will be going through till your final year, our curriculum, it provides the professional core courses in order to provide the domain knowledge to our students. Even it provides the professional elective courses where you will get the opportunity to opt for the specialized courses as per your interest or as per the current trends. It is proposed to plan the delivery of these courses to some extent, partially, in collaboration with industry experts, where industry experts will be invited and will be taking the participation in content delivery. That is proposed for a professional elective courses. Professional elective courses, you will be starting from third year. In SYBTech, you don't have professional elective courses, but in fourth semester, you will be having open elective course. Even with open elective course, the intention is students should gain the multidisciplinary knowledge, where these open elective courses will be provided by, those options will be provided by different departments. Like, for example, in SYBTech fourth semester, there are open elective courses related to mathematics subjects, and that is being floated by mathematics department or first year program. So you will get such opportunities to gain this multidisciplinary knowledge through open elective courses in further semesters. More focus is on practical based learning, project based learning. Like in this current semester of SYBTech, you have 3 practicals: data structures and algorithms, project based learning practical is there, then digital electronics practical is there. So more focuses on practical and the project-based learning. With project-based learning, the intention is like students should get the opportunity to apply their knowledge, the knowledge which they will receive through the multiple theory courses. They should be able to apply their knowledge in these practicals with project-based learning courses. With that intention, these project-based learning courses are included in this semester as well as in next semester also. You will have this course. Then our curriculum, it provides the internship opportunities as well. Internship included as a separate course. It is a credit course. It will be in final year, but you can start your internship from the second year summer term. Time to time you will be notified. Even I think you will be appraised with more details by the internship coordinator in next sessions of this induction program. Then curriculum is balanced to nurture the various skills in our students, considering or keeping in mind the all-round development of our students. And these opportunities will be provided by hosting the life skill courses, art courses, sports-related courses. Even various audit courses are offered. And as I said, you will get the choice to earn the more credits. Total credits, how many credits are there with this BTech curriculum? It is 161 credits. So other than 161 credits, you will get the option or you will get the choice to earn additional 20 credits. And these additional 20 credits you can earn through honors certification or minor certifications. So those options are also being provided by BTech Computer Engineering to our students. Quickly, I'll say about the second year BTech course curriculum, where in semester 3 you have 10 courses. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Okay, because I received one message, your network connection is disabled. Okay, fine, I'll continue. So in semester 3, SYBTech students having 10 courses with 23 credits, and in semester 4, 12 courses are there with 20 credits. And as I said, you have project-based learning courses in both the semesters. And in SYBTech, all the courses are of basic science or engineering core or professional core courses. So very fundamental and core courses are included in SYBTech. So your second year is very important from placement point of view to make yourself as industry ready, or to make yourself well acquainted for or well suitable for the computer engineering discipline. So I hope you will take it very seriously, since you have core courses as a part of your SYBT curriculum. Then you have HSMC course also in both the semesters. In semester 3, there is universal human value, and in semester 4, professional skills for engineers. Then life skill courses are there in both the semesters, and in semester 4 you will be having open elective course. As I said, it will be offered by it is related to mathematics, so offered by first year program. And then proficiency courses also there, where you will get the two options, C# and .NET, where these will definitely help you to groom your technical skills in some technical programming languages. Now I will say about brief you about the honors and minors. As I said earlier, that this is choice-based credit system, and to some extent you are getting the choice to opt for additional to opt or to acquire for additional 20 credits, and that is through honors and minors. So BTech Computer Engineering, it is offering to our students two honors courses. One is honors in deep learning and optimization, and second is honors in cybersecurity. So these honors courses, these are providing the opportunity to our students to obtain the advanced knowledge, complex knowledge in these specialized domains. So keeping that in mind, these specialized domains are identified to offer as an honors course. And these honors courses will be offered to computer engineering students only by computer engineering program. And then minors courses, two options are there: minors in data science and minors in advanced web development. And these minors will be floated by computer engineering program to other students, the students of other programs. Similarly, you will also get the choice to opt for minors, which will be floated by other programs like information technology, civil, mechanical, ENTC. So you will also get the opportunity to opt for their minors. And this minors in data science and minors in advanced web development, the second option for minors, that is in association with AICTE. With AICTE, there is one program is floated. That program is LIGHT program, Leadership in Teaching Excellence. And under that program, there were selection criteria, and PCC was selected to host this minors. And this is a paid program. Again, time to time, you will be notified with proper details related to this. And one more thing, second year students can start opting these minors. Whereas these honors in deep learning, honors in cybersecurity, and minors in data science, that will start from third year onwards, from fifth semester onwards. But minors in advanced web development, it can be opted in the second year itself. So you will be getting this opportunity to opt for this minors in advanced web development. So I'll brief you about the guidelines. As I said, that with honors course, you will get opportunity to acquire additional 20 credits along with those 161 credits which is there for BTech curriculum. And you can start honors certification will start from fifth semester onwards. That is in third year onwards. But keep in mind, students, you can opt only one certification. Either you can opt any single honors course or you can opt any single minors course during your graduation. This is very important to understand and to keep in mind. You can opt only one certification. And even for these courses, we have decided the range, like minimum, maximum, how many students are allowed. So minimum 20 students and maximum 40 students will be permitted, or seats I can say honors courses. But that admission, it will happen based on your screening test. At entry level, screening test will happen, and that will be decided, like it will be as per the decision by the department. And as per the merit list in that screening test, 40 students will be allowed to enter or to register for the honors courses. One more criteria is there which you need to understand. Students having CGPA greater than 8.75 up to fourth semester. That is in your FYB Tech and SYB Tech. So that CGPA, students having CGPA greater than 8.75 up to fourth, these students can only opt for honors certification. And at the end, when you will complete your honors certification successfully, those successful students will be awarded with honors certification, and that honors certification will be along with graduation degree in computer engineering. So this honors will be allowed by computer engineering program to computer engineering students, to our students. And these students, those who will not satisfy the criteria, they will, but if they earn all 20 credits to complete this honors course, then they will be issued only completion certificate and that will be by institute. So there are few criteria, like for example, student should gain, they should obtain the B plus or C plus or maybe more than C, or some particular specific grade in few number of courses or maybe in all courses. So like that criteria is there. So you will be notified time to time and clearly. Then there is a slight difference from the guidelines for minors from the guidelines for honors. Again, I'll repeat, for minors also, you need to acquire additional 20 credits, and that will start from fifth semester, that is from third year. And students of other programs, as I said, minors, this is floated for other program students. So students of other programs having CGPA greater than 8.75 up to fourth semester, they can opt for minor certification in computer engineering. Even you can opt the minors which is floated by other programs. And again, successful students will be given minor certification along with the graduation degree in respective core program. Once again, I will repeat, any student can opt only one certification, either single honors course or single minors course during graduation. And for minors, ranges, minimum 20 student batch should be formed, then only this minors course can be started, and maximum 60 students or 60 seats will be permitted to admit for this minors courses, and that will be based on FCFS. So that was about this autonomy or about curriculum and all those things. So I hope it is clear from my side. So thank you, students, and thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am, for the informative session. Now I would like to request Dr. Rachna Patil, ma'am, SE Academic Coordinator, to guide the students.
Yes, thank you, Rahul sir. Let me share my screen. Sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Can you turn on your camera too? We'll take pictures. I forgot to tell.
Sorry, sir, but I don't have web camera here, so I won't be able to do that. Sorry for that. Okay. So good morning, dear students. So I welcome you all here in the Department of Computer Engineering. Myself, Dr. Rachna Patil, and I am Academic Coordinator for SYB Tech Computer Engineering. So this at the department level, for every class, we have academic coordinator. For every class, we have class teachers, and then we have academic coordinators. So here, this is a team of academic coordinators. We are having Sambare sir, who is overall academic coordinator and third year academic coordinator, and myself is a second year academic coordinator. So whenever you face any issue or any problem, you can contact your class teachers. And if it is not solved over there, then we can contact you. All can contact me, and the email IDs are provided here for your reference. So students, I hope you all are doing well, and you all must have taken your vaccination and waiting for the physical classes to start. We all are also waiting for you to come here and join the physical classes, but we are waiting for some guidelines. As soon as we receive, then we can start with it. So as you all have completed your first year, you all must have experienced that this academics is the most important aspect of students' life. So here at PCCOE, we are following some academic processes, and these academic processes are basically for the overall development of students. And these processes will definitely lead you to the bright career, I say. And if you follow these processes sincerely, then you will not face any issues in future. So as the first practice here is we at the beginning of every semester, we used to generate the academic calendar. And this academic calendar lists down all the activities like curricular activities or extracurricular activities are listed here. All important events are listed here in the academic calendar. The detailed calendar is available on our department website. You all can go there and check for it. And these are some of the few important events which are related to only students. So these events are listed here. So this academic calendar consists of all the schedules of like admission, your course registration, when the semester is starting, when we are concluding the semester, when is your internal evaluation, midterm examination, and all. Okay, so you all can see this academic calendar and you can plan all your activities according to this. Then the further thing is the requirement of attendance here. So see, students currently you all are there at home. You all are in a very very comfortable environment, and you're getting ample of time after completing your academic schedule also. So I'll suggest you to utilize that time for upgradation of your skills and be focused to your academics and try to improve like your programming skills and all by practicing on the different coding platform. Your teachers are also encouraging you to register yourself on HackerRank, CodeChef, and all these coding platforms. So you all can do this to improve your skills. Then see here in academics, we are having very much importance to this component of attendance. You all must be very responsive in your all your academic activities. And according to the rules here in the institute, we are expecting all students to attend 100% lectures. We are expecting that you all will attend all the classes. However, might be due to some genuine reason or some medical reason or something like that, we can allow a shortfall of maximum 25% attendance. So here we are expecting at least 75% attendance from you, and see to it that you are maintaining 75% attendance. Of you can attend those many lectures to maintain your attendance. And if you're falling to that, we are having a process of detention here in academics. And if you fail to attend that 75% of attendance, then the students would be detained. And if it would be detained, then in that case, the detention criteria is if the attendance is less than 75%. If you are not completing your term work and not submitting your laboratory assignment on time, in that case also the student could be detained. and the detained students are not allowed to attend the end term examination. If you're failing to complete your continuous internal evaluation, in that case also the student could be detained. But student, I will suggest you to keep the attendance more than 75% so that you will not face any issues of detention. Then another thing which I want to explain here, which is related to academics, is you all might have gone through the curriculum. So this is the curriculum for your semester 3. And in this curriculum, we are evaluating the students with the multiple components. Like here we have internal evaluation, midterm evaluation, end-term evaluation, term work, practical, and oral. So there are multiple components here. So for your internal evaluation, your individual subject teachers will guide you. Then midterm evaluation, end-term evaluation, and all that will be explained by exam team in short time. I will just brief you here about the continuous evaluation process which we are following here at the department level. So the continuous evaluation policy which we have decided here to be followed in academics is every student or the term work will be evaluated for 100 marks, and then it will be scaled down to 25 marks or 50 marks depending on the weightage. Now, this 100 marks, also again, we are evaluating it assignment wise, 70 marks are assigned. So every assignment is evaluated for 70 marks. Then we have given 10 marks for midterm mock oral, which is scheduled. The date is given in the academic calendar. And then we are having end semester mock oral or practical examination for 20 marks. Then this every assignment which we are evaluating for 70 marks is again divided into 20 marks are given for your attendance and participation in the laboratory work. 20 marks are assigned for the performance of the students. 15 marks are given to the quality of work. And then 15 marks are assigned for the report which you are submitting for every laboratory assignment. Then how we are evaluating your performance. So that performance is again evaluated by some subcomponents. These are not the mandatory components, but these are some of the components through which we can evaluate your performance, like Viva or group discussion or by using quiz. Again, here every individual faculty will give you more detailed guideline that how they are going to evaluate your performance and how 20 marks would be assigned in every assignment. Then how we are checking the quality of work. So quality of the work is evaluated by the logic which you are using for implementation of that experiment and the way you are writing the code and the efforts which you are taking towards the implementation, how you are presenting it, that how you are demonstrating it. So again, this 50 marks component of quality of work is divided into these components. So this is the continuous evaluation policy. Again, these laboratory journals are evaluated by two components, like how you are submitting it, like timely submission of your journal, and then neatness and soundness of the content. So students, we will encourage you to submit your work on time and keep it neat and clean to fetch these 15 marks of report through laboratory journal. So this is the continuous evaluation policy which we are following here in academics at the department level. So you all should know all these components and the weightage of this in advance. So we are explaining it to you right now here in the induction program. So that you know that where you need to improve or what all things you need to carry to fetch the maximum marks. Okay, so these are some of the academic processes which we are following here at the department level. So students, we at the department and the institute, we all are committed towards the holistic development, that is overall development of students. And you all can approach your subject teachers, your class teachers or academic coordinator for any kind of issues. So I wish you all the best for your future. And if you have any queries, you can post it in the chat box. So thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I would like to request Professor Sambare sir to guide the students.
Hello.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
I'm audible. No?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, good afternoon, students. And first of all, I would like to welcome you in Department of Computer Engineering. This is you are actually now in the department. First year, you had a common, you can say, uh, along with all other branches. Now here you are with us, and all of you have briefed you about what exactly is like Kure madam has briefed you about autonomy, Rachna madam has briefed you about the academics, and on the earlier also, I think on Thursday, Rajeshwari madam welcome you in the department. Okay, so as an overall academic coordinator, I am not going to present you any PPT or something like that. I just would like to talk to you because I just want to address you. Okay. So academics, PCCOE, we are known for our very good academics and very good placement. That's why I think all of you have taken admission here, and you are fortunate enough that you are in that particular list where you got admission in PCCOE. Now, and this is your first, you can say you are the first batch of autonomy. That's why you are very much valuable to us. Okay, and you are very important to us because your success is our success. So based on this particular thing, we would like to do everything which is possible to make you a successful engineer. Okay, all of you know the meaning of engineer. I hope before you take admission, you should know what do you mean by engineer. Okay, so engineer is a person who design, who build, who maintain. So that is actually the dictionary definition of engineer, which all of you know. And uh, so that's all in this particular. That's why in this particular stream of computer engineering, we are going to address all the things related to computer engineering. Okay, so here everything is there for the subjects. If you see, like madam has shown you the structure of second year. As you progress, when you come to second year, at that time you will come to new subjects of third year. Okay, because this is the first autonomy batch, so every year your subjects are going to be different, and you are going to be facing the new subjects, new opportunities, because in SPPU curriculum, the electives are offered only in final year. Okay, of course, now it is there in third year, they have introduced one elective, but in our autonomy syllabus, we have electives start from fifth semester itself. Means from third year itself, you are having elective choices, and you can choose any stream. Okay, and based on that stream, your area of interest, you are going to build your career here. There are so many other features in the academics like proficiency courses, your soft skill, like personality development courses. So all these things are there to build you as a good engineer. Okay, so take everything seriously, take everything properly. Okay, I will not talk here about discipline because we are very well known for our discipline. So, and all of you might have observed it in first year also. But again, I would like to tell all of you, whatever things are there in first year and whatever things are there in the department, they are totally different. Okay, so you don't expect the similar kind of thing in the department. Here we are going to have, we are going to grill you, we are going to take a lot of you can say things from you, get a lot of work done from you. Every faculty is going to tell you some of the other thing. Okay, like the assignments or the practicals or some kind of mini projects or any presentation. So all these activities will be part of the subject. Okay, and this has to be followed by all the students. So what I like suggest you people, you be open for anything. Okay, don't like be in a compartmentalize yourself. So you should be open for any challenge which is coming in front of you. At the same time, in department we are having our chapter. CESA is there. I think it has been already told you. We are having IST chapter we are going to start. We are having CSI chapter already existing. We are having ACM chapter. We are having IET. We are having ACMW. So these are the, you can say, platforms for you people to showcase your another talent. Okay, co-curricular and extracurricular activity. So I suggest all of you, I don't want all the students to be bookish. Okay, you always 24 hours, you should read and do something. No, that is not expected from an engineer. Engineer should be all-rounder. Engineer is also a manager. Do you know this thing? Okay. Why people like in the companies, they recruit engineer? Because an engineer is by itself is a manager, because he know how to manage the things. For example, right now you are having 7 or 8 heads in a semester. You are having some 5 your core courses, practicals. You are having life skill course. You are having professional skill course, like that. You are having HSMC course. So these multiple heads are there. So you have to manage your time. You have to manage your effort, and you have to perform in all these things. So an engineer is a board manager, and these platforms which I'm telling you, these platforms will help you to build your personality. Okay, so for example, if you organize any event, in organizing the event you will come to know what are the different things, how you will interact with people. If you are, for example, if you are organizing any guest lecture, so you have to identify a person, you have to identify a topic first, and then identify a relevant person in that particular on that particular topic, then contact that person, take his permission, then contact the department, adjust the timing, all the student to attend that. So if you look at this simple event of organizing a guest lecture is having so many things. Okay, so like this in your 3 years afterward, if you organize many events, if you participate in many events, then your personality will build. Okay, and that is what is expected in the industry. Okay, we want students should be industry ready. Our placement of our department is very good. Kokade sir will explain you that. Uh, if you look at the last, you can say 4, 5, 5, 6 year track, we are progressing like anything. Okay, earlier we used to have single offer, then our count of double offer increasing, now our count of triple offer increasing, and we are going to 4 offers to your student. Okay, so you should be in that particular category. Okay, and higher package companies, even though outside the campus, for example, the companies which are not coming to campus, for example, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, or this kind of Adobe, these kind of companies are not coming to campus, and of course they are not going to many campuses also in India, but they provide opportunity to apply from outside. Okay, so there is a Microsoft internship program, there is a Google internship program. So how you people are going to be selected there or shortlisted there? So you have to think, you should have a target. Okay, so that target you should note it down, and then according to that target you have to work. For example, if I want a job in Microsoft, what should I do? You should know what are the requirements of Microsoft. So the basic courses which you are doing right now from second year, for example, disk structure, data structure. So these kind of courses are going to be there. You can say it is your foundation. So this foundation you should build very strong so that you can have a very good building of your career on top of it. All the courses which you are studying in second year and third year, the core courses, they are the foundation. You can say core computer engineering courses. There is no, if you go to any university website, you will find these courses. So study these courses properly and don't study it from exam point of view. Okay, again now that mentality of passing the exam, we have to you can say abolish it completely. Now you are studying a subject for knowledge. You want some knowledge from this particular subject, and in the process of getting this knowledge, you are acquiring certain, you can say, grade in that. Okay, so for that, as madam has said, so there are certain internal evaluation and there is some external evaluation. That all schemes, your subject teacher is going to explain you in brief what is expected in each subject, because it is going to be different in different subjects. So since we are having autonomy, this freedom we are having, there should not be like all the you can say things you cannot put in the same basket. Okay, so that's why we are having different kind of things. Now I again ask you people, how many of you are there aware about the coding platforms, like for example CodeShape or HackerRank or HackerEarth? Can you put it in the chat? How many of you there on this coding platform right now? Are you you can say some rank holder or star holder in that? What kind of stars you are getting in Codeshape or HackerRank? Yeah, so some people are there. HackerRank 3-star, okay, 4-star HackerRank. Very good, very good, very good students. So now I'm getting the responses, but still many of you might not be on this particular platform. Okay, so students, but whichever division you are there, okay, you talk to your friends. Okay, whenever you people are coming to campus physically, at that time definitely we will have this particular discussion. But right now, from every class, there are some people who are there on the HackerRank or Codeshape. Okay, and on HackerRank also there are like Java, C++, Python, problem solving. So many tracks are there. Okay, so Geek for Geeks, this platform is there. Like this, there are multiple platforms. So first of all, those who are not there on any of this platform, so they have to explore this platform. Okay, this is very important. If you start from second year, see, coding is the skill which you cannot acquire in a day, week, or a month. It is a habit. It is a practice, and unless you are not getting it, you cannot success. You cannot get success. Okay, all the product-based companies nowadays, even the product-based, all the companies today having a coding test in their evaluation process. Okay, so you have to pass this coding test, and those coding is like, it is also time bound. Within 30 minutes, you have to solve some 2-3 problems, and you have to also give the, like, this should be executed. It should, the program should execute. It should show the output. So this is very important. That's why I'm saying you don't learn the subject for passing it. Okay, learn the subject for acquiring the knowledge. All the subjects which you are studying, OOP, data structure, you can say discrete structure, digital. Some of you might be saying digital or microprocessor. Why we should study that subject? See, students, unless you are not understanding the fundamental hardware behind which you are writing the program, multi-core architecture, you know, like all the computers, mobile, or even your laptop, everything is now multi-core. So what is that multi-core and how that multi-core is happening? So all of you should aware about this thing. Okay. So when you are coming to college, or whenever you are like, now your courses have started, now I want 100% student should be there on some or the other coding platform, and we are going to ask you after, we can say once or twice in a semester, we'll circulate a Google form and we'll ask what is your current ranking. Okay, you should also go for some online courses. See, again, this is time management. You might, some of you might be saying, we are having so much academics there. I don't have time to do all these things. But still, you have to get the time. Okay, you should take out time from your social media time. Okay, many of you might be using social media more than the excess time. Okay, so just observe yourself how much time you spent on your social media, and if you cut down some time from that, you will definitely acquire these skills. Okay, so this is very important. uh, Again, in the second year, physically, actually we are very much eager to see you physically in the campus, and at that time again we'll interact, we'll have one more meeting with that. So I will end my talk here, and best of luck to all of you, and welcome again in Department of Computer Engineering, and perform well. Okay, and stay healthy so that you can physically visit the campus. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir,
Yeah.
for your motivational words. Now moving to the next session. Now I would like to request Professor Mahalakshmi ma'am to take over the session now.
Yeah, thank you, Rahul. Let me share my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Okay. Good afternoon, students. Welcome to the next session, which is on rules and regulations for examination and evaluation. So, which is a very important part as a student to know. So, we already you have completed your first year and you have gone through all these examinations and evaluations, but still we felt that to revise once again it is better so that you can plan properly, so to acquire the skills and as per the requirements. So the index will be like examination and evaluation, rules and regulations, and then we'll see the performance indices, how the performance indices will be calculated. So as you all now have experienced, this examination and evaluation consists of two types, that is continuous internal evaluation and interim examination. Continuous internal evaluation again is carried out in two different types, that is internal evaluation and midterm examination. This internal evaluation will be carried out at department by the course teachers, and midterm examination and interim examination will be carried out at the institute level with the central team. So I think I need not to take you through the slides because already academic coordinator has explained you about the structure, but I'm interested in the evaluation scheme over here. So the evaluation scheme is having two types, as I mentioned, CIE, ETE, and we'll know what is the distribution of this evaluation scheme among the CIE and ETE. So the distribution of continuous internal evaluation and interim examination is like this. For professional core or professional electives and open elective theory courses, it is 50% in internal evaluation and 50% weightage is given for the external evaluation. And for HSMC courses, theory course, it is 60-40 ratio. So 60% weightage is given for internal evaluation and 40% is given for external evaluation. And for laboratory term work as well as tutorial term work, it is completely 100% weightage is given through the internal evaluation only. Okay. And for practicals and orals, the exams will be conducted, end-term exam will be conducted at the end of the semester, and internal will be evaluating for 50% weightage and external will be evaluating for 50% weightage. So this internal evaluation will be carried out continuously by faculty over a span of semester. Okay. So the continuous internal evaluation for theory courses such as professional core, professional elective, open elective will be consisting of internal evaluation 1, midterm examination, which is compulsory for all students, and internal evaluation 2. As you have got some guidelines from the academic coordinator, Rachna Patil madam, about this internal evaluation, and more details you will receive from your course teacher, how they will be evaluating and how they will be carrying out these IE1 and IE2. Okay. So before the stipulated time, you have to complete all these activities. And then, so within the given time duration in the academic calendar, marks will be entered into the system. So it is very important for all of you to complete all these activities within the stipulated time. And then the internal evaluation, for theory courses, that is some of the scores obtained in IE1, MTE, ITE, IE2 will be calculated for final CIE evaluation. Means final CIE, continuous internal evaluation, you are getting from the addition of IE1, MTE and IE2. And midterm examinations will be conducted in a centralized fashion. So as I already told you, there will be a re-MTE examination provided that you meet these certain rules. That is, student must have 75% course-wise attendance. And if you have absent for the midterm examination due to a valid or unavoidable circumstances, then also you must have taken the prior leave request, then only you will be considered. And the re-MT examination shall not be treated as an improvement examination. So if you are absent due to a valid reason and if you have more than 75% attendance, then only you will be considered for re-midterm examination. The term work marks carry weightage as follows. Okay, so that is continuous evaluation, that is 80%. Already term work policy has been discussed by Rachna Patil madam. So I will not elaborate again that one. So out of the 100%, the distribution is like this. Continuous evaluation carries 80% of the weightage, and semester end mock oral or practical will be containing 20% weightage. Okay. So in the term work policy discussed, this 80% is again further divided into 70 marks from each assignment, and then 10 marks will be getting from the midterm mock oral. Okay. So that is how it is becoming 80%, and 20% weightage is given for the end term mock oral or practical. So you must be very cautious, and at time to time you must see all these things, and then you must acquire the good marks. Then there are certain rules are there to grant the term work. So that is, it is mandatory for the student to complete all the experiments or assignments, and you have to submit the laboratory journal before the term end. And so if you are not meeting these guidelines, then students shall be detained for incomplete term work, and non-submission of laboratory journal will require re-registering the course again. Okay. So in this case, term may not be granted, and you have to again re-register for the course. And the internal evaluation for proficiency or life skill courses, 100% weightage will be through the internal evaluation only. So here there will not be marks, any marks, only pass grade or non-pass grade will be there, PP or NP. In case of failure, if you are not meeting the guidelines or rules laid by the course teacher, then in case of failure, then to pass, student need to register for the course by paying specified fees again, and you can change the course during the re-registration if there are multiple options are there. At a maximum, 2 attempts will be given for passing. Not more than 2 attempts will be given. So that is all about the internal evaluation. And now let us go to the external evaluation. So in summary, internal evaluation is nothing but continuous internal evaluation. For theory courses, it will be IE1, IE2 and midterm examination, and for term work it will be like continuous internal evaluation plus end term oral or practical. Okay, mock oral or practical. Okay. So next, the external evaluation. So for theory courses, the external evaluation will be done in the form of end term examination. So the end term examination, which is a summative examination at the end of each semester conducted at institute level. And for 3 or 4 credit courses, it will be conducted for 80 marks and will be scaled down to the 50% weightage as we have discussed. And for 1 and 2 credit courses, the exam will be conducted for 50 marks. And it is already 50 marks weightage only. Okay, so no scale down. And there will be a re-examination for failed students or for the acquired transitional grade students. So re-examination will be conducted after declaration of result of main end term examination. And for this, you need to pay additional examination fees. Okay. And also there will be makeup examination, that is called as summer term examination, which is conducted with the makeup classes as offered by the program at the end of even semester, means at the end of the academic year. Okay. So students need to register for such makeup classes and examination if offered by paying specified fees. So the external evaluation for practicals will be conducted in last week of conclusion of teaching as per the academic calendar, and will be conducted in the presence of external examiner. And the evaluation will be like 50% weightage will be evaluated by the internal, and 50% weightage will be done by the external examiners. So both are equally evaluating each student. Re-examination for practical oral examinations shall be conducted before re-examination of theory courses. Then we'll move on to the examination rules and regulations. So the examination rules and regulations for, so there are different courses. Some courses are credit courses and some are non-credit courses. So for credit courses, the letter grades after combining the performance of all continuous internal evaluation and end-term examination, the letter grades will be derived from the 10-point scale, which is calculated based on your marks. Okay, so suppose if you acquired 80 marks after combining the marks of CIE plus ETE, then as per that it will be converted into a letter grade. Okay, so that slide I'll show you afterwards. And there are non-credit courses. For non-credit courses, there will be letter grades as PP or NP. PP indicates pass class, pass, and NP indicates not pass. So I don't discuss much on this particular slide. Already regarding honors, Gore ma'am has explained. So the criteria to opt for honors certification course is you must acquire CGPA, which is greater than 8.75 up to 4th semester. Okay, so that means what? First two, so this honors course is going to start from the 3rd year onwards. Okay, so from first 2 years CGPA, you must have greater than 8.75. And this to get the certificate, honor certificate, you must acquire additional 20 credits in core engineering field from 5th semester onwards. Credits will be awarded only if students get at least C grade in 3 out of 5 courses opted by student. So these rules may change. Okay, so if this rule changes, okay, because letter grades, not sure, maybe it may change. So that time we will again let you know about the changes. So if you do not satisfy these conditions, but if you earn all 20 credits, then you will be issued a completion certificate only by the institute. Okay, not the honors certificate. Only completion certificate you will get if you are not satisfying all these rules. So likewise, there is a minor certification in other engineering program. So for this also the entry criteria is CGPA greater than 8.75 up to 4th semester, and you need to acquire 20 additional credits in other engineering field to get the minor certification. And the rules and regulations for makeup classes and examination, which is a summer term exam, we call it as. For theory and practical courses, there will be makeup classes and makeup examinations, which will be conducted at the end of even semester. And department may offer makeup classes for few courses to clear your doubts and to clear your backlog courses. And to opt for makeup classes and examination, valid reasons must be there. So valid reasons for re-registering makeup classes and makeup examination is failure in the re-examination and absence in the re-examination due to illness or accident. Okay. So before the summer term, because after end term examination, there will be a re-examination. If you fail in that re-examination and if you are absent due to valid reasons, okay, so then you may opt for makeup classes and examinations. Students have, so for this, if you are absent, okay, so you have to take prior leave in that case, and it must be granted, okay. So official leave after submission of certificate. Prior permission from the HOD or director through proper channel, and re-register for the register for the courses. So some other conditions to avail the benefit of these makeup classes and examination, that is courses which will be offered for makeup classes and examination will be at sole discretion of the department, and department shall announce the list of courses after declaration of results for even and semester re-examination. Contact hours to earn required credits will be same as regular semester, which is squeezed into 6 weeks. Okay. So that means suppose for regular course, if the contact hours are 48 hours, then for this makeup classes also 48 hours, but it is squeezed into 6 weeks only. Students can register at the most 4 courses, not exceeding the total credits, total 16 credits. And attendance requirements and all evaluations as per the regular semester. Okay, so 75% attendance criteria is applicable over here also for makeup classes. Then only you will be eligible for the makeup examinations and so on. And courses offered in a makeup term will be treated as equivalent to a regular semester courses for all grading purposes. So the next we'll see the rules of passing. For term work, practical, oral, you must earn minimum 40% marks in each head. Then only you will be given passing grade. Okay. Then for theory subjects, you must earn minimum 40% marks in the end term examination and 40% combinedly, that is continuous internal evaluation plus end term examination. Okay, so both together also you have to acquire minimum 40%, and alone, that is in end term examination also you must get 40% marks, then only you will be like passing that particular course. So failing a student can repeat the end term examination to pass the head in same semester, and the CIE marks will be retained as it is. Okay, so again CIE will not be conducted repeatedly, but it will be retained. Student who failed in re-examination can repeat the CIE plus ETE at the end of even semester in summer term exam. So to earn credits of a course, student must pass the course with the minimum passing marks. That is whatever the 40% criteria we have discussed. So to earn the credits of that course, you have to pass that course with the minimum passing criteria. And the rules for ATKT. Okay. So here, you can register the for third semester if you earn minimum 60% credits total for first and second semesters. So right now you are already registered for the third semester. So that means you must have cleared 60% credits from first and second semester. Okay. So likewise, to register for fifth semester, you must earn minimum 60% credits of total, that is from third and fourth semester, and you must clear all the credits of previous 2 semesters, that is first and second semester. So likewise, to register for 7th semester, you must earn 60% credits from 5th and 6th semester and must clear all the credits of first 4 semesters. Likewise, okay. And then to award the bachelor's degree, you must earn 161 credits as per the structure defined by the program and clear all the audit and non-credit courses. So as per the structure, it is 161 credits. Okay. So whatever whatever the number it is, so those many credits you must acquire, then only you will get the bachelor's degree. So in case of lateral entry, student shall be awarded the bachelor's degree once he acquired the 121 credits as per the structure. Means from which year you have entered into this degree. Suppose if you are direct entry in second year, okay, then from there onwards, how many credits you need to acquire? Okay, so that is 121 credits. So if you earn all these 121 credits, then you will be awarded the degree. Next, we will see the performance indices, that is SGPA and CGPA, how it will be calculated. So as I told you that your performance will be converted into a 10-point grade point scale, and then you will be given the letter grades as follows. Okay. So if your performance in percentage is like this, that is greater than or equal to 90% and less than or equal to 100%, then it will be treated as 10-point scale, 10 grade point, and then you will be awarded as outstanding grade. And if it is less than 90% and greater than or equal to 80%, then grade point is 9 and the letter grade given is A. So likewise. So pass grade will be given if you acquire, if your performance is less than or greater than or equal to 40 and less than 45. Then you will acquire P, that is pass grade. And below that, it will be fail grade. And if you are absent for the examination, then no performance will be there and no grade point will be there, and you will be given the letter grade, that is AB. So this is how your performance will be converted into grade point. So your grade point will be between 0 and 10. Okay, so 0, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like this. Okay. And apart from these letter grades, there are some other letter grades are there in special circumstances. So if you are detained due to insufficient attendance or incomplete term work, okay, that is detain and repeat. So you will be given the letter grade that is DR. And if you withdraw the course with satisfactory attendance, that is willful withdrawal, then you will be given the letter grade as WW. And if you have satisfactory performance in continuous internal evaluation, that is just pass grade, but absent in ETE, that is end term examination due to valid reason, incomplete due to illness, okay, so you will be given II grade. And XX grade will be given in case if you have very good performance in continuous internal evaluation, that is more than 80%, but poor performance in ETE leading to fail, that is FF overall grade. Okay, suppose for example, if you scored out of 100 marks, 50% weightage is given CIE. So there you have out of 50, if you have scored 40, and in end-term examination, if you scored 10 marks, okay, so you will be treated as fail grade because you are not meeting the criteria, that is 40% in ETE. So, but you got the good performance in CIE. So in that case, you will be given the letter grade, that is XX. All these are transitional grades, which I told you in earlier slide, that is for makeup classes and makeup examinations, you can register in case if you are fail, absent, and in re-examination, and if you are with the transitional grades. And now the calculation of SGPA and CGPA. SGPA, that is semester grade point average, is calculated from all the course grade points. So the formula for this is the summation of grade points earned in a course multiplied by the credits of each course divided by total number of credits in a semester. So for example, if you have 5 courses in a semester, C1, C2, C3, C4, C5, then in C1, if you have acquired G1 grade point, in C2, if you have acquired G2 grade point, and so on, then it will be evaluated as C1 G1 plus C2 G2 plus C3 G3 plus C4 G4 plus C5 G5 divided by total credits, that is C1 plus C2 plus C3 plus C4 plus C5. So this is how SGPA will be calculated. Okay. So this grade point, already you have got an idea how that grade point you are getting based on your performance. Now the CGPA is also calculated in a similar fashion of SGPA at the end of each academic year. Okay. So this is not calculated per semester, but it will be CGPA will be calculated per year, that is at the end of each academic year. So after first year, so first 2 semesters cumulative grade point average will be calculated. So likewise after second year, so first 4 semesters cumulative grade point average will be calculated. So in a similar fashion of SGPAs. Formula will be same, but the number of courses will be more. Then to award the degree, so how the class of degree is calculated. So after once you have cleared all the rules which are late, which we have discussed earlier, okay, then based on your CGPA, your class of degree is announced. Okay. So that is, if you got the CGPA 7.75 or more than that, then you will be awarded first class with distinction. And if it is 6.75 or more, but less than 7.75, then you will be awarded first class. So likewise, okay, so 6.25 or more and less than 6.75, it will be treated as higher second class. 5.5 or more but less than 6.25 will be treated as second class. 4 CGPA or more but less than 5.5 is treated as pass class. And to get the degree certificate, okay, so you have to be eligible for the award of BTech degree from the institute and Savitribai Phule Pune University. So for that you must meet these guidelines. Okay, so that means award of the degree will be given once the eligibility certificate from the university is obtained and you registered and passed all the prescribed courses earned minimum credit requirement for the said degree. So as we have discussed, for your degree, as per the current structure, it is 161 credits. Okay. So you must obtain CGPA that is greater than or equal to 4 and paid all the institute dues and satisfied all the requirements prescribed. No case of indiscipline pending against you. Okay, so if you are satisfying all these rules, and then you will be awarded the degree. So thank you, students. This is not limited to this because of limited time, and it is not possible to cover all the rules and regulations. So you can very well refer our website, and on our website there is a booklet, examination rules and regulations. You can go through for more details. And even I have not covered many things like disciplinary actions and all. So you can go through that booklet. And one more thing, Rachna ma'am has shown you the academic calendar. As per that, your course registration might have completed by this time. We are going to display that by next week. So if you have not completed, if anyone is remaining, please do it in ERP. Thank you. If you have any queries, you can ask me.
Madam, students have asked some questions in QA box.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So first query is, we are not able to take the honors in third year if we take minors in second year. So as per the rules presented by Gore madam, I think only one single honors or one single minor you can opt. So both you cannot opt. So that is answer for first question. Okay, so the second one is, please share all the presentations. Okay, with the permission from higher authorities, we may take the decision to share the presentations. Any other questions, queries regarding the examination rules and regulations? You can ask. I think term work policy is clear, and internal evaluations already course teachers might have communicated to you regarding the internal evaluation, that is assessment tools. So as per that, you keep on preparing and submitting within time. Ma'am, please share website link in the chat box. Okay. The institute website is www.pccoepune.com. And for department, already shared by Rachna ma'am. So if what is this? If the college is going offline, then how many days before will you inform us? Okay, I think Sambare sir or Rachna Patel madam can answer this question.
Yes, students. So keeping this in mind, we will inform you at least 1 week before, and that is not yet decided. The decisions are still pending. We are waiting for the guidelines from university and the government. Once we get it, we will inform you well before, at least 1 week before. Anything else?
Okay, thank you. Over to Deshmukh sir.
Thank you, everyone, for guiding the students in detailed manner. So now I would like to wind up this session today, and we'll meet on Monday, 9:30 a.m. morning. Correct, Rashna ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, students. Thank you all.
Thank you all. Thank you.